Your shirt is the inverse of my shorts.
Hey, good to see you.
What's up, brother?
Yeah, nice to see you.
Oh, we got two?
Yeah, we got two. Got a white, got a red.
That's perfect.
Let's do that part.
Let's do it.
We are very excited that we have Filter back as they try to do their Kickstarter campaign for season 2 again. We held back on the interview because Kickstarter now has a new feature called stretch goals. If you meet your funding by your deadline, which these guys have done as their deadline is tomorrow, you can continue to raise funding. So let's keep giving them some money and let's get more Filter.
The park down here. Is this what you... There's artwork everywhere. I love that about Toronto, is you can just look down any alleyway and there's just art everywhere in every part of the city.
Yeah, that one's always a little weird to look at.
That, yeah.
Down here.
First, a quick word from our sponsor. Stop Cannabis lives up to its name. Located conveniently on Highway 24 at 38 Norfolk Street South in Simcoe. Stop by and see why they're Simcoe's #1 store for friendly service. Your good vibin', good timin' cannabis shop located in downtown Simcoe. Good afternoon, everybody. We're so lucky today to be joined by the two amazing creators of Filter series. And today we have with us Laura Lee Sheehan and Kyle Merkley, and they have launched their first season yesterday. And as you may recall from an interview we did at the end of last year, they were crowdfunding for their second season on Kickstarter, and they got so close. It was like a fraction. They needed, I think, they were going for 22.5 and they got almost 19,000. So, wow, they definitely decided to do it again. So we want to help them out once again and find out more about the season that's been launched. So I will just let you guys introduce yourself, and I'll start with Laura Lee.
Hi. Thanks for having us back again and talking about all our Filter stuff. So I'm Laura Lee. I'm the executive producer of Filter and one of the creators of Filter with Kyle. And, I'm a music head, a film buff, kind of really into subculture content. So like when we were starting to talk about this project, it just had a lot of appeal to me. I love stuff that is sort of underground. And so, love kind of exploring cannabis in an interesting storytelling way and thinking about, that whole part of the project. So that's sort of like where my sort of interest and like intrigue with the whole thing started. That's a little bit about me.
Excellent. And Kyle?
Well, I'm Kyle Merkley. I'm the co-creator with Laura Lee, and I've kind of found myself being de facto host of a few of our episodes on screen. And off screen, I've been playing the role of music supervisor, filling out the soundtrack. And so I've been wearing those different hats to kind of help bring our adventurous and nostalgic cannabis storytelling to life.
Excellent. And so when you're finding yourself as sort of a host, so you're taking people kind of on weed adventures, is that right?
I feel like weed is taking me on the adventure most of the time. And we've been able to kind of bring together enjoyable experiences and people that in the cannabis community that have kind of excited me. And so when we bring all those together, it's kind of become this adventure of sorts, led by cannabis and food and music as well with our soundtrack. And so kind of all these things together kind of make up our adventures.
Oh, that's fun. And you guys shot this first season during COVID, so things were probably a little bit quieter than when you're going to do your second season.
We did. We started filming in 2019 because we did get some funding, like just for concepting. So we filmed we had a big shoot day like in 2019. And then, it took us a while. Like we just ended up shooting over the next couple of years, like a little bit in a random way. Like we just shot when we could sort of thing. So that was interesting.
Fun.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
episode 1 is out now, or is the whole season available?
Episode 1.
Episode 1. And are people going to be able to see the other episodes as time goes on?
Yes, we are releasing 1 episode a week
Cool.
for until we're done, and so we have 6 episodes, and we're doing them in English and French. And it's really cool, as Kyle said. Like him and I both, we met through music. We're both music heads. Kyle actually is a music award-winning music supervisor, outside of being the co-creator of Filter. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, everybody can see the episodes, but I was going to say we're doing them in English and French, and each has a unique soundtrack. So we're really leaning into the indie music, and the French is, the same episode, but Kyle's putting together a unique French soundtrack with some Montreal-based labels and artists. So that's become like a really important sort of ethos and, again, kind of experience for us in the storytelling to have the music be like very, very important or integral to the episode. So we're kind of excited about English, French, and French having a unique French soundtrack. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, the French have a large volume of amazing music that we don't get enough exposure to. So good on you, Kyle, for working that in, sewing it into the weave of the project.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right about French music, and I guess we kind of have this position where music's universal to all of us, right? So frankly, I also think it would be really trippy if you don't know any French to watch some of our French episodes and experience an episode in a total flip where it's in French language and has a different soundtrack. I think that'll be kind of a fun experience that no one else has offered.
So do you actually do you dub over, or do you do the same thing in French? Like, do you parler français? Mon ami?
You would think Kyle speaks French when you see it, I swear.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to give it away.
Oh, okay. We'll just have to wait and tune in and find out. So that brings me to another point, is that you guys are doing unscripted content, but maybe you could explain how it does sort of appear like it is scripted.
I love, like, this has been a little bit of that magic when you're, creating something with somebody and you're not really sure where it's going to go. We had really specific, we were filming cannabis, like we had cannabis as sort of a subject matter that we were leaning into, and a subculture content that we were leaning into. But we started filming, and when we were editing, we're like, there's actually something here when we were thinking about all the intersects of things that we're doing. So Kyle was mentioning, like, music, local storytelling, like feeling like you're somewhere specific, while still feeling universal. Cannabis, this cast of characters and just perspectives and experiences. So we kind of stumbled across this whole feeling of like, it's like Freaks and Geeks or Mallrats or something, like very like 90s. It has a little bit of a storytelling scripted feel, but we're not scripting it. And I've just loved the way that has come together, because I feel like it's really accessible. Like, we are like, as it's like cannabis can still be this sort of stigmatized thing. There's a lot of like old legacy sort of tropes of like, cannabis, like people who use cannabis, it's like, oh, stoners, or like whatever it is. I'm like, there's still a lot of weird things about what that means. So we're just trying to make it sort of everyday and just document it, sort of thing. So the scripted part was like this just amazing thing that happened that feels like, I honestly, like, watching the first episode, I'm like, it feels like Freaks and Geeks or like Mallrats. Like, I just love it. It has this 90s feel, and it doesn't feel like overextended in terms of like the discussion. It just feels so natural. Like you're just watching like these characters do something. So
right.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So really you're removing the stigma by showing a regular person who uses marijuana in regular situations, and that it's not actually scary. Is that kind of, because like obviously there's, drugs can be on both sides there. They can be obviously very devastating, but weed is now legal, so people are very accustomed to people drinking beer and wine, and so in this series, you'll probably be able to see how mild marijuana is, for people who might not be familiar with more than sort of the propaganda around it in the past, like Reefer Madness, and those sort of films. that. I think Reefer Madness was at the beginning of the illegalization in America, and it was kind of wild. The whole movie shows somebody gets stoned and kills somebody. You know, it's like it's not really what people do on weed.
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, that's fun. So 6 episodes, and so is it sort of the second season is going to follow along the same tempo and vibration as the first season? Or are you guys gonna stretch out somewhere into some other realm?
We do want to, I think that hopefully Kyle's aligned with this too, but I think we're liking the storytelling mechanism, or at least the vehicle that we can storytell in, where it does seem a bit like nostalgic. It is almost like a series where I'm like, you're just following these characters for a moment in time and then you're dropping into other characters. I think there's some really interesting things that we want to do. Like we want to maybe go to Montreal. We want to just keep exploring different perspectives of people, and people not even using cannabis, but just being involved in the space and in the community. So Kyle, I don't know if you wanted to like kind of add to that, but
What we learned from shooting with the characters that we have, what we were framing as season one, was that the unscripted elements, even if we do have a rough framework and idea of what we're going to do, the unscripted works because we're kind of dealing with experts in their given field. And so when we have like Adrian from DNA Cocktails, and he's, in my opinion, and probably in many people's opinion, the best canna cocktail mixologist out there. So he knows his game. He can share, right? And beyond that, he's got an amazing story. Or someone like Chef Pat Newton, he's an incredible chef who knows cannabis and knows how to cook with cannabis. So it's been amazing hanging out with him. And as we continue to explore, I think when we land on these experts who have stories to tell and maybe like a really unique angle on cannabis that they have become super proficient in, they can just share that story as well. And so that's it kind of fills up the need to have a script because they have it, they're living it, they are the character.
well, and even to add to that, like one thing that Ashley had said in her episode, because I was just reading the transcript to get our final picture edit. She was saying even with breathing, it's like just getting high off of your breathing. So it's not, that's just a natural, like, I actually like got a lot out of that, just to say like, it's how do you kind of change your mindset in the ways that you want to and in the ways that you need to. And it's like, we didn't smoke, like there was no smoking in that episode, but there was a lot of kind of getting high experiences or feeling like it even as an audience member, just by even like breathing properly or just
You're going to get a lot of views from saying that one, Laura Lee. That's fun.
Your own supply. That was like the tagline.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I can imagine all the characters you guys are meeting and how interesting they are, and just what they've seen on their journeys, because it's been a learning process for everyone.
Well, that's the thing. Like everybody has the spectrum of experience and all these different intersects in their life, and if cannabis is in that or not, or even in a certain way, and it could be very, it's just really interesting because I'm like, it's just really about people. That's really what it's about, and it's really about people hanging out with Kyle, who's super fun to hang out with. But it's really exploring these ideas or having an experience and just kind of seeing what unfolds. And I think that's really kind of, I've always said, like, we're just trying to document the now of it. We're not trying to hard angle it. And I think the scripted feeling is such a beautiful thing that came out of like that whole ethos. Yeah.
Maybe there will be a scripted project with some of these characters in the future.
I am not mad about that idea. When I also like, I've been really heartwarmed, like in finding like this kind of going this ensemble cast of characters route with totally different experiences and expertise, and we're focusing on a different experience or a different kind of film moment. But it's just been really interesting because like it just shows also like the community part is so interesting, like just for all of us, like no matter what you're into. Like I remember when being in a band, it's like you just felt like you were at home when you went to like a show at like a small venue, and I'm like, people would just walk by that venue and not give a crap about it. But like, you're like, this place means so much to me because I go in and I feel like I meet people and like we're all on the same page, even if we're not doing the same music or like, it's just so nice. And I feel like I'm kind of getting that feeling with this project too, to say like, it's really this like ecosystem in this community that is really interesting and cool. And people are very interesting and very interconnected in a way, even with like these different experiences. So I think we're kind of tapping into that whole, something that we are losing with digital, where it's like, it's harder to find that. And I feel like this project kind of makes me feel a bit like my indie days of like just going to a venue, and no matter if you knew anybody or not, it didn't matter, because you're going to find peeps that like, you know, you're all there to like enjoy music or do something together. And it doesn't matter if you know each other or not, there's common ground.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it seems like now we're sort of over the weirdness after COVID, and everywhere I go seems people are wanting to connect like on a deeper level. It's beautiful. It's just people take a little extra time to connect and talk, and it feels really heartfelt now. And I think you're right on it. Like people are so interesting, and you're capturing, you know, interesting people in the city of Toronto as, you know, Canada's going through this major culture change. And so I think it's super interesting.
And I have to give Kyle like major kudos, because I didn't know if he was going to be good on camera or not. I actually brilliant in this really
This is
natural.
unscripted too. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, I've been, every time we're watching rushes or watching some of our footage, I'm like, Kyle just kills it. It's so like, it's really good. It's like exactly the vibe and the just like that person to like lead us through these experiences. And yeah, no, Kyle, like like I was like, this could be a whole disaster. I'm like, I don't even know if Kyle's he has something. So you know, it's been cool to see that kind of evolve to just such a,
almost like a very calm demeanor that people wouldn't, you know, it's easy to sort of absorb and feel like you're right there with him, right? So that's very personable. Like you can imagine yourself talking to him and meeting him, and you feel like you know him after you see him on the screen, right? How about you, Kyle? How was it? Was there any surprises for you being on the other side of the camera? In front of the camera, I should say.
You know, it is I'll say on the maybe we'll come up with a term for it, but on the weed friendly shoots, I settle into my lane, I go into zone, I don't got to think too much. But what I did have during our Ashley ice plunge episode, where we did the cold plunge with all the cameras there, you know, smoking weed's not a problem, but it was my first, it was the winter in Toronto, and there's like a whole like giant bucket of ice for me to jump into, and I can't say I wasn't nervous.
Ooh.
So, you know, I'm definitely being, I wouldn't say pushed to my limit, but a little out of my comfort zone. I think that's kind of fun too.
Stretching.
Yeah. So all I'll say is I'm down for it. And you know, I get to hang out with people on screen sometimes, and that's a ton of fun. But something that I also find fun is the idea that, and this is specific to me, but people that maybe I could vibe to this as well. You know, if you can find 10 minutes to watch your episode and have a smoke and sync up that way, kind of like we were doing it, I think that's a ton of fun. And it's something that I enjoy doing with certain kind of content, but I haven't seen a lot of, you know, cannabis inclusive content out there. So this is kind of the opportunity to do that. So it's a way to kind of digitally expand the sesh.
Are now crowdfunding for season 2. You guys ran a campaign before and you got uber close. Obviously, tons of support for the project, and you're doing it again with this first one under your belt. What did you learn that you're implementing now?
We made a few changes. We learned a lot. I feel like we got a boot camp and Kickstarter. It was, and I have actually kind of bought into the Kool-Aid because I've been backing projects since our first, like I'm now in the ecosystem pretty.
Kickstarter karma.
Checking out projects, and some of those people have backed us too already.
Oh, wow.
It's actually cool for creators. Like the first time we did it, I didn't realize how awesome Kickstarter was for like that kind of creator space and that solidarity. And also just like that disruptive way to raise funds for projects that, you know, is really great for creators rather than getting like a bank loan or all these, these long format things that take a year to figure out. Like, it's just, so I'm a big fan, but we did make some changes to our whole strategy. So we kind of brought down exactly what we were doing and what we were trying to raise funds for. So we kind of, brought down our sort of what we were trying to raise, just kind of focus it on like the release of season 1, supporting a little bit of that effort in terms of music licenses and stuff like that. And then supporting a bit of like the startup for season 2, but knowing that like if the Kickstarter goes great, then we could actually keep adding episodes based on that. So we kind of just approach it like that, to be like a little bit, changing around some things so that it's just more accessible for us to meet our goal and have people like be able to support us, which I know a lot of people are doing and are into, and it's been so awesome. So
you're breaking it down into smaller pieces, right? And sort of funding these pieces at a time to get you to the next. That's smart.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get the more material and funds to help you get it out. So can totally understand that.
And we got, on day 1, we got Kickstarter Project We Love. They tagged us as a Project We Love, so we get that Project We Love thing on Kickstarter, which is super cool.
Oh, you did?
They're supporting us, like they'll send it out in their editorial, but they actually were able to look at our project before it launched, after our last one, and just give us like some feedback. And yeah, we got tagged as a Project We Love just based on our second campaign. So that's, it's just,
wow, I love that. Good for you guys. How exciting. Wow,
yeah,
that's quite a stamp. That's like a global company. Like, good for you. Really puts you on the map. And I'm sure it probably gets more views because you have that sort of tag on there. People would probably follow those. So, and you're proving more successful because you launched a week ago, your new Kickstarter, and you said you're doing pretty good. How far are you, do you think we're
almost at our goal? And then there's obviously like for the rest of the campaign, we can start reaching stretch goals if we get there. But we're at 88% or 89%. So we're almost like fully funded week 1, which is great. So it just gives that energy to like, yeah. Just
right. And people don't be discouraged if you think, well, they're almost at their goal, so I don't want to help, even though I would, because actually they can raise more money than what they're actually trying to raise. So if they do raise more money, it's going to just be more great stuff from Filter. So it's definitely
exactly. Everything else that we raise above like our goal is going to go into episodes for season 2. So yeah.
Fun. And have you had any feedback? I guess it only came out yesterday, but how's the feedback been on episode 1?
I mean, Kyle, everybody's like, this is awesome from what I've heard.
Good.
Kyle, have you heard anything?
I for sure had a lot of like glowing responses of how great it looks and how fun it is and how people want to go have a pizza and a doob or something, like really fun stuff like that, which is chill, but I love that. I'm like, you should go have a good time. go make like a point of having a great
you
day.
could do your Kyle tour. You just need to print out the Filter maps and people can come to Toronto and ramp on.
That's definitely something to think about. Yeah, like a self-guided tour, like a recreation.
Get some deals, some accessories for them to take with them somewhere. Get some sponsorship.
Probably my favorite comment that I've got so far, and I mean, we just dropped our episode yesterday, which is, so I hope maybe there'll be, more interesting ones to come. But someone said that I was their like their cannabis spirit animal.
Fun.
So it fits into kind of the weed adventures things, and I thought that was inspiring and kind of exactly what we're going for. So I really enjoyed that.
It's awesome.
Also, I had some before we released the episode, I was just watching it, doing a playback at our studio with the door open, and somebody from the building had walked by, and they actually stopped and like backwards walked to the door, and they're like, "What is this? This song sounds cool." It was like the end, yeah, the end track, Golden Boy, I believe, and yeah, so that actually literally stopped someone in their tracks to be like, "This sounds super cool," and I'm like, "It's on our episode. That's just about to be released." Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And how do you go about deciphering out of all the music out there? what's a good fit for you, Kyle, and for your seasons or for your shows?
So far, I've found that it depends on the vibe of the episode and then kind of running with a theme that fits for it. Of course, a big part of it is finding people that want to come along for the ride on our weed series. And a lot of it's people that I've kind of met through the years that vibe on it on some level.
Oh,
And then we kind of bring together like a team of different people. We have four different artists on our first episode, our Blondies episode. And I'm fortunate to know all of them, and they're all amazing artists. And you can see the artist list, like probably in the info of the YouTube. And
good.
super thankful for them because they make the vibe. I mean, if we're talking about a kind of simulated sesh environment, the music's got to be on point. And I'm incredibly proud of these artists. I feel honored to be able to have their music. And I've used them in a lot of things throughout the years. These are people that are all pretty close to me, but our series wouldn't be the same without the soundtrack. So I owe a lot to all of them that are part of it.
Well, that's so fun. Are you guys maybe gonna, I don't know how it works with rights and stuff, but are you guys able to do like a little, like a soundtrack playlist on Spotify or?
Ooh, we might be able to
Yeah, cool
a
idea.
playlist.
I mean,
We
they're,
I'd
yeah,
love.
unless we're using something cool that's unreleased, we probably could. I mean, that's a great point. Because it'd be a cool way to again simulate the experience, right?
Yeah, music is everything, and it just adds so much emotion and momentum, and it's just such a wonderful thing to be able to put depth to your video production or film production. So, what a cool job you have if you're doing that for a lot of different shows. And I know Laura Lee's a massive indie music fan as well. So it seems like a really good vibe you guys got going and really on par in the same vibration for your content creation and everything like that. It's pretty exciting to see. So we want to make sure these guys definitely get funded and overfunded so that
oh,
we can keep watching all these sort of introductions to people, interesting people across Toronto and beyond. I love the idea that you guys might go to Montreal. I think that city is just jam-packed with culture and interesting experiences on weed or not. Certainly could follow Kyle and see what it's like to be there and also across Toronto. Not everybody gets to experience Toronto in such an intimate way.
Mhm.
It's very cool. Awesome. Do you guys have anything else that you want to touch on?
I just want to say we're so excited about our season 1 release. First episode's out. French is released next week. We're releasing an episode a week, so definitely check out our YouTube, subscribe. Yeah, the season is it's going to be really interesting. The music's going to be awesome, and it's yeah, just check it out. And then for Kickstarter, anybody that is into Kickstarter and into supporting creators, yeah, just check out our campaign. And if you feel like backing, then we would obviously really appreciate it. Hearts to everybody that and just really it is just that sort of that creator space that's really helping creators build things. So we fit right in there, and it's a very empowering way to create and build things. So
When's the last day of your campaign?
We're going till June 21st, I believe. So we have another couple weeks to go, and yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. So we will certainly put your episodes out as you release them on our media down here, Culture Rodeo, and so people can enjoy them along the way and remind them about the ongoing fundraising. And since you guys did your last campaign, Kickstarter's added some new features. Could you tell us a little bit about that? It's pretty exciting.
So they just announced a pretty game-changing thing for creators and anybody running a campaign on Kickstarter. They're doing this thing called late pledges. So if you are successful in your campaign during your campaign period, then you can actually continue the campaign, or people can continue to support your project even after that date. So sometimes people find projects after they're already done and they're really into the project, and you can actually support that creator or that creator that creator team even after the project's done. So they just announced it, and it's
What
pretty.
great timing for you guys. So June 21st is actually not the last day. It's the last day of their original sort of crowdfund for, did you say 8,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, if they do reach 8,000, which their momentum looks like they're going to blow right by it, if they are successful on June 22nd and you're watching this video or you're seeing something we're putting out, well, I guess they'd be watching this to hear me, you can still add money. So, and be part of it. So that's pretty cool.
And we'll have some like limited rewards for our late pledges.
Ooh,
Gotta check it out.
Oh, very fun. And Kyle, if people wanted to get in touch with you to do their soundtrack, what would they do?
Oh, cool. If you're a filmmaker, producer, if you need sonic elements to accompany your visuals, songchopper.com is my company. And whatever project you have in kind of that, I love to create some kind of take the opportunity to have creative problem solving to give you an amazing soundtrack for your show. It's a big part of my life for sure. I love to be able to not only help the person that's looking for that music, but to be able to make it a win for the person that's supplying the music or where that music comes from. So that's kind of a big ethos that I try and operate with at Song Chopper, and that I've been applying here at Filter. So you can find me there, or of course I'm always around at Filter. And a serious huge thanks to everyone that has backed our project or that will be backing our project. We have a lot of episodes that are set to come out that we already have prepared to drop very soon, each of them. And everything that comes after this, we have kind of the opportunity to create a really cool flywheel of an independent community delivering AV around weed. And that would be a really fulfilling opportunity for us to be able to deliver on and to continue to expand our community. So getting to be on here with you today to chat about it, thank you. And
No
people that have shared our episode, thank you. And I know we've had a lot of fun too, which is a total bonus. It's definitely an adventure, and a huge thanks to everyone that's been a part of it so far.
Amazing. And Laura Lee has this incredible business called Digital 55, and they have an amazing team of all sorts of creators. So if you need content made, she is your girl in Toronto and around. Never to disappoint. Maybe you could talk a little bit about Digital 55, Laura Lee.
Yeah, for sure. So we produce unscripted media and digital content, all sorts of modular digital interactive experiences. So yeah, we're just essentially like an indie producer. If you want to flip anything to digital media, we can help you do that. We're very into collaboration and concepting, and obviously our originals kind of speak to like the vibe. We have a subculture type vibe to anything that we do, but really innovative and really, interested in sort of social purpose content or subculture content or something, along those lines where we're totally into. So,
and what's your website for that?
For Digital 55, it's digital55studios.com.
Excellent. Okay. And they can find your email there if they have a project that they want you to look at, maybe help them with. Okay, amazing. I'm so happy to introduce you guys today and your project to our audience. And, a lot of people that follow us are creatives. And so you can do it. You can get your project on Kickstarter too. And as you can see, Laura Lee's good karma of, giving to other Kickstarter campaigns has really helped them as well, build a community around their project. So start your karma by helping Filter get their cameras turned on and some interesting adventures that we can join along and watch from home. Thanks so much for being here today, guys, and best of luck for your campaign. We'll keep reminding people as we go and checking in, and I'm sure you're going to meet your goal, and I think you're going to far surpass it. If we can help you get a lot more eyes on this, we certainly will.
Thanks.
Excited.
Thank you so much. We're so excited. Yeah.
Okay, cut. Now we can just talk. Well, thanks, guys. That was awesome. I think you got some good stuff in there that I can pull out and put into an interview. I wonder if you guys have, if you guys could we transfer me your first episode, and maybe I can pull a couple clips out of there to put in the cut into the interview. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, Kyle, keep me honest. We have to use it in context because we already
Yeah,
ran out
yeah,
of context.
yeah, I know. Oh, in context promo rights. Yeah, totally. We got this. She would just be putting little clips on it. I don't even know if we'd hear the audio. It'd be fine. It wouldn't be taken out of context. So
Oh, you mean for the rights for the music?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
what I'll do is I'll send it to you before I put it live, and if you want, if you have to run it by the musicians or whatever, that's okay.
Yeah, if you're just pulling clips from it, it'll be fine. But if you want to double check, that won't be that's
Yeah, I'll send it out to you guys for approval anyway, just in case maybe you said something you didn't want to say or something changed or
I think that
whatever.
would look really good though. Like especially people who are watching this to be able to see it while they're listening to
Yeah,
it.
I think so too. Like in the last interview, the art was just really cool. Some of the stuff I had in there. I don't know where it was from though. I can't remember. I think maybe there was just some stuff, stills and things like that that I might have taken screenshots from some of the little trailers and stuff you guys already had on there.
Mm.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah. And I think yeah, let me know if you need anything. But like yeah, the first episode we can
If you
send
guys
you.
do the Spotify list, I'll share that too. Just send it to me.
Kyle, we have to do that. We have to add that to our list. We should do a season one.
That's
And
fine.
like
You guys
I
have
mean
your own, do a username filter and then season one, season like that's, and I wonder if you guys could even like, could you make an album to sell and then just, I don't know, figure it out with the,
Houseplant is doing that. You know, Houseplant has this like selling LPs of like collections. I don't know. We're not there yet.
well, look at Dazed and Confused, right? Like their soundtrack was mind blowing. It's still like in your head, right? And
Yeah.
almost is bigger that is as big as the movie.
I
So
think the Spotify playlist we can jump on like
that's
we
free
should
and
probably do that like in a July, maybe like mid-season. We just start.
and you could also do like QR codes on your t-shirts or cards that link to that playlist. And then you're in their heads.
This is like we just set up a profile and then we can add any song to our
Exactly.
playlist.
Yeah.
Could,
Oh yeah, we
could
should
do cool things like guest sesh playlist. Just get somebody to curate things. Like that's cool. That's a nice thing about Spotify. You don't got to clear anything. It's like
Yeah, it's very easy. They're already getting royalties, right? It's already set up.
yeah, yeah. What a difference. Yeah.
kind of add that to our list of
That's
things
it.
to do.
That said, there's so many cool things there. Like I don't know how we could get the swirls. Like I'm not sure if you saw the swirls, Tanya, like on the outside of Blondie's. That's Flips. He's like just a really cool cannabis weed artist guy in Toronto. He's always having like weed parties with cool art at it. He's the best. But like if he wanted to design or do some special vinyl thing as well, it's like we could do
Love
something
that.
that could be cool if we did like a greatest hits from season one or something like that might be. And even
Have
to
that many songs because it's 10 minutes, right? Or you just have little clips.
yeah, well, like the trick on the like say the first episode, for example, there's for
Oh,
sure
that's right. I only saw the first episode.
yeah. There's for sure three songs from one artist, Boy Golden, but he's already on 6 Shooter Records, so like he probably wouldn't want us to put out stuff, but we could put him on a playlist on Spotify. And then we have some other music that we did that was more like I reached into to kind of like B catalogs from like composers I have that I'm friends with that are like, I got this in my library. It's a cool beat. And like, I'm like my friend T, she's like, I got these. And then I grab them and I put them in and they work, but they're not like formal releases. So maybe there's something interesting with the stuff that isn't really out there yet that we're using as well. Anyway, it's cool that you vibe on the music so much because I know
My first documentary was on the migrant workers that come here to work in our agricultural fields from Caribbean and Mexico.
Mm.
And I used to do street festivals to celebrate them, like a carnival to kind of bring them and the locals together. And so I brought down reggae, our Juno winning Kirk Diamond. He's a reggae musician. And I had these mariachis from Toronto. I use all the time mariachi fuego. Anyway, for our film, I just gave them a list of emotions. And I said, could you guys record something for these emotions? And then my audio guy, Nathan Fleet from Hamilton, he's a pretty well-known guy in the film industry. He's got the Hamilton Film Festival. He did my sound and he weaved it into the sound bed.
Sick.
And yeah, I tried to get the rights for Leaving on a Jet Plane, and I had a mariachi version, just instrumental, and a reggae version, and I was gonna cut it together for the trailer. But it was just there was two people on the writing side, so it was just very expensive. I think it was gonna be
Yeah.
like 6 grand for global rights for 5 years or something. So I thought I'll try and sell advertising and still get it. It's not it's not a definite no still. Like I'm still kind of putting it out for sale and stuff, the documentary, but I'm my main focus right now because now I got the other one that I'm just wrapping up.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for you there. Working with big tunes, you're so kind of stuck with who knows how many people publish it. You could have like 2, 3, 4, 5 writers, could be a sample in it. And it's like once it gets split up and the company takes it. I like working with indie artists. I like those people that played stuff, like like whatever original stuff they played and just jammed out. You're like, man, I love that. And I maybe paid you for it and I got that. It's like done deal. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I did a feature film, like an art house, black and white, and we used Good Golly Miss Molly in it. And it was like not as much as leaving on a jet plane. I think, well, we didn't get global rights. We just got like a year of Canadian rights, I think. We only showed it twice or something, and I got like bad contracts, and boy, that was a learning one. It's still there, but we won the Hamilton Film Festival with it. So I'm glad that we got it for that one night to play it anyway. And it's an interesting process. And I definitely think it's just as important as the visual, you have to.
It's our invisible character.
Oh, interesting to think of it as a character.
I always think I
almost the way you guys think sort of differently. Like I like that. It's like a whole intellectual side of it.
Funny to be intellectual and then be like, oh yeah, this is the blunt and ice dunk episode. Here we go.
So you got to blow these. Then I can tell my parents.
Ice plunging. That's the episode name. It's like turning into like a verb.
Ashley. Yeah. Ashley was talking to me the other day, and she's like, "We gotta do round 2 of that ice dunk." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." like it's been so long now that I'm like, "Oh wow, I'd be
finally warmed up."
I'd be exactly. I'd be brand new, scared again.
I know that's how I feel. It's been so long, but I know it's really healthy, and I know how great you feel afterwards. That you just got to focus on that after feeling.
Yeah, it helps if Ashley takes you through like a breathing exercise as well. Because you kind of what I think it is this is me not expressing it, but because you do such deep breaths and for multiple rounds, you end up like hyper oxygenating your blood almost, and so you can retain your breath for longer. You're like for example, you have her there for coaching. I remember her saying to me when I was in the ice, "Breathe out," and I was like, "Breathe out." She's like, "Yeah, that'll make you calm down. That changes your parasympathetic response to breathe out," because our reaction is to go. It's cold, but what we want to do is breathe out so that you're calmer. And I'm like, I wouldn't have thought that.
I was just telling a story yesterday that I went to Sasquatch Festival when I probably like 10 years ago or something, or 15, or I don't know, something like that. Maybe not that long, but Bjork was playing and Arcade Fire was their first album, and like Manu Chao and Beastie Boys were there. Anyway, as I do, I got separated from my friends over the festival, and all of a sudden I found myself at the place that everybody's trying to push to get down to the ground floor, like the fence or whatever. And there was so much, and Arcade Fire's songs, how they build up tempo and then they like build up and build up. Well, I was completely suspended in the air because everybody was pushing, and every single inch of millimeter of my skin was touching someone else, and it was just completely flattened. And all I kept thinking is, okay, do not panic, just breathe very slowly. And then Arcade Fire did their thing. It was like a whole body orgasm. It was like, ah! And then we broke and we ran down. Then my friend saw me at Bjork on the big Megatron or whatever dancing. So funny. But yeah, I was like, don't panic, just breathe or you're going to get trampled, right? Or go like start hyperventilating, like terrifying. Yeah, crazy. Adventures. That was a adventure, I'd call it. Oh, it's fun. Bjork was amazing. She's a cool chick. Very creative as well. Awesome. Okay, well, I gotta run. I gotta head out to this art juried show. But thank you guys so much for meeting. I'm pretty busy. I'm gonna work on this in the background, and as soon as it's ready, I'm gonna put it out. I'm also gonna try to sell ads to weed companies so that we can boost it and get more eyes on it. And
what do you need from us? You want the video, the season?
Yeah, so yeah, a video. If there's certain clips you guys prefer, you can just send me the clips too. or I can go through and pick out what I think might be better too. And you guys can spend your mind on hustling for the money.
Yeah, I trust your eyes, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm going to show it to you guys anyway, right? And I'll just find I'll just email you if I need anything. I'll put your websites and stuff in your emails online so people can see it,
Cool.
and then links to your websites also in the text part. If you guys have like a 3-line sort of thing about yourself that you want to send, I'll put that in there too.
Yeah, that
We
might be
do.
good. Yeah.
And if you guys do the Spotify list, definitely send me the link and I'll include that. And then every time you guys do a release, it's probably a pain in the ass. I'll try to remember, but if you guys have like a list that you email out, just add me to it and then I'll put it on my media wherever I can. And
we do. Yeah, we don't have, I'll add you to the list. We're not sending out like episode releases every week, but I'll add you to like the main list so you get like just the update. And then we're starting to filter like subscribe lists like outside of YouTube as well.
oh, good idea. Build
But I
your
can
own.
just ping you. Yeah, I can just ping you when the episodes come out. Like they're going to be weekly. We're trying to do it every Wednesday, but sometimes stuff
Sometimes,
happens.
yeah, I
Right?
know. I hear you there.
Yeah.
I know it's like that with the pawn shop. I'm a ghost editor. I'm like, I don't want my name associated with this. We have no releases. I know way better. I'm sort of the film person in this whole county. And, I don't want to be in trouble. So I told him everything. I was like, you should really have people sign and at least say it on camera or whatever. But he's got a poster and he feels comfortable with that. And so far, he's had not too many complaints. But you must have releases for all your characters and stuff, eh?
We do.
Yeah, that's how I roll too. Like it's just so much work. You can't risk stuff like that, right? Like
I know. Well, Alex keeps me honest because I love guerrilla filming, but I know like the release forms are really important. But I'm like, I cannot be bogged down with that. But I'm like, I know that if you don't have it, you could get in major trouble.
yeah, like it's paperwork is such a pain in the butt, but it really does save things at the end if things get confusing and then it just makes things easy, right?
Yeah, I think we did get releases from everybody for season 1, and then like Alex is on it for season 2 or anything that we're filming. Just making sure that we're getting that, and then Kyle's doing like the licenses, music licenses. So I think we're covered. Other than me going rogue and like using stuff out of context like immediately. I told him that, but I didn't realize he had taken. I thought he was just going to clip it, and then you're like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, that was me.
There's some really cool apps too for making like just social media videos for like teaser trailers and stuff. You just put in a bunch of stills or videos and it does all like ramping up and so it can be some at least time saving. You don't have to actually do your own ramping and all that, which can be.
There's one that I wanted to.
Wow.
I don't remember. It's not through YouTube, but YouTube was mentioning it. Like some creators were like, you can run your episode through some platform, and it will just chop up some key moments into short videos, so you don't have to like actually go in and like.
Wow. Okay.
But I can't remember we're gonna try to. We should be doing that because we should be putting up like shorts and stuff.
AI editors.
There's so much stuff. It's like so hard to keep track of everything. It's like
I know. I can't. I want just like everything AI. AI in my life. So I can just stay on vacation. Anyways, great meeting you guys, or meeting you, Kyle. I already knew Laura Lee, so thank you again. And yeah, I'll just stay in touch. As soon as this is done, I'll send it your way and we'll get it up and get you guys some cash coming to you.
awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Maybe see you up north sometime too.
Yeah, well, with my tech company, Culture Rodeo, if I ever get it built, I'm just working on my 3rd platform. But Peterborough is actually one of the places that we're gonna be opening. So 10 cities in Ontario, just promoting the arts like we're doing now. And
that's exciting. I'll stay tuned there too.
yeah, and it's fun just connecting people, right? And making it easy for people to connect with art and culture experiences, but then also sort of building in supports to encourage them to follow that fingerprint or intuition they have to be creative because it's the gold they have, right? So why not help them achieve it?
Very cool. Well, let's all do that.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Happy Thursday.
Yes, you too. Have a great art show.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you guys. I can't believe you're so far already.
We'll see.
And it's so encouraging what you're saying about Kickstarter, just the support from the community. Like that's That's really warming and encouraging.
It is. I think a lot of people don't know that, but I'm like, it's actually like you have to tell people about Kickstarter, like how it is this whole creator like space, right? And yeah,
It certainly
so
makes it more attractive.
yeah,
Like to
totally.
try to do your own project after you hear that.
Yeah.
All right, bye, honey.
I have a good night. Love you.
Love you too. Talk soon.
Bye.